Lane train. Saban 20-0 against his former assistants. The average scoring margins plus 26. But Ole Miss, didn't they start with a bang a year ago in Oxford? Scored early and then got beat by 100? Matt Corral, Kenny Yeboah, second play of the game, and then, trickery. Find Yeboah again on the jump throw. 4 plays, 75 yards. Play the fight song. It's 7-0 Ole Miss. Alabama tied at 7s. Najee Harris fumbles on first and goal. His first career fumble lost in 467 touches. The guy does not put the ball on the ground, but he does there. Jerry and Ely. Ely with a burst for 22. That's 3rd and 27. Rebs go for it on 4th and 5. You got to get him out in the flat, Steve. Ely out of the backfield. Up the middle. Is he in? He's in. Exasperated Nick Saban. We're tied at 14s. Snoop Connor gets to the outside. Rebs back in the red zone. 2 plays later. Going quickly. Snoop Connor into the end zone. Game would be tied at 21 at the break. Most points and a half by an unranked opponent against Bama under Saban. Najee Harris. Not going to put it on the ground again. Get off me. He's going to put 6 on the board. His second touchdown. A rugged running back for the Tide. It's 28-21. 3 plays later. Yeboah. Look out. He's gone. His second touchdown of the game. Back and forth we go. 3 minutes in the third, we got touchdowns back and forth. Ensuing drive for Alabama. Jones rolls. Tight ends what?
Wide open.
Miller Forrestal, touchdown, 35-28. 3 combined touchdowns in the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. Now it's Mississippi. Ely, his second of the game, tied at 35. Ensuing possession. It's Harris, his third. Not done. 42-35, tie. Fourth quarter. You're going to have to keep up. And mostly Mississippi was, but they went to the well once too often. Corral tried the jump pass. It's picked off, but wait. Flag on the play, defensive holding. Later in the drive, they go for it on 4th and goal. Connor up and in. Called a touchdown. They take a look. Call stands tied at 42. Next shot for Alabama. Harris again. His 4th. Ensuing drive for Ole Miss. Yeboah. Wheel. He's got it. Someone's got to have to get a stop, and that's someone who tied here. A mishandle of the snap, forced to settle for a field goal. Ben Brown upset about that. So the ensuing drive for Alabama, Mac Jones lowers his head, gets 1 yard the hard way. In a game where yards were just, easy to come by, that 1 yard was huge. Wind it up and dial it up. Complete. Jalen Waddle. Now 2nd and goal. Devontae Smith in motion. He takes it in, and for the first time in the game, someone has a lead of more than a touchdown. Inside 2.5 to play. Corral loads it up. Elijah Moore. And Jordan Battles called for targeting, so he's ejected. That adds 15 to that big play, and that's big for next week against Georgia. Later in the drive, it's 3rd and 8. Now you need 2 scores, so it doesn't have to be a touchdown, and it's not going to be. So Ole Miss settles for the field goal. So still a 1-score game. Onside kick coming. John Mechie, thank you. You don't have to wait for it to come 10 yards. They do. Makes a smart play. Dives forward, gets it. 3rd and 5. There's that man again. 22 for 6. 5th touchdown of the night. They hung 63. Nick Saban and Alabama have scored 50-plus against Ole Miss for the 4th consecutive game. You don't think Nick hangs on to the fact that they lost a couple there to Rebs a few years back, do you? Longest active streak in the SEC, second longest streak in SEC history against a single opponent. Molly McGrath afterwards with Nick Saban.
Coach, you just came over here and shook your head. You just won the game. Why do you look so frustrated?
Well, I'm not frustrated with their offense at all. I think they did a marvelous job of taking the air out of the ball, scoring about every time we had the opportunity to. We just didn't play very well on defense. But, maybe a game like this will wake us up a little bit, and maybe we can take the mistakes that we made and try to improve. But, we knew that they had a great offensive team, and we're happy to get out of here with the win. We knew this would be a tough game, so I'm really proud of our players for the way they competed in the game. They just kept playing in the game, and that was probably what saved us.
Yeah, next up you have Georgia coming to Tuscaloosa. What do you need your team to fix ahead of that game so you can win that one?
Well, obviously we're going to have to play defense a lot better because they have a really good defensive team, so it'll be challenging, but we'd like to enjoy this game for a few minutes before we're worried about that one.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
This is fun. It's a chance to say hi to my friend Todd McShay. It's been way too long. Great to see your face. Great to have some college football to talk about. And since Nick was talking about next week, let's start right there. Given the tape that Georgia's put out of their defense the last 2 weeks, given the tape Alabama's putting out on offense, something's got to give. So, Todd, based on what you've seen, what do you think gives next week when those two teams face?
I think Alabama's getting a lot better, Scott. And the offensive line is that's the biggest issue. They've got to be able to run the football. Najee Harris, they came in tonight. Steve Sarkisian, the offensive coordinator, knew that they had to be able to run the ball. It took a while to get going. But you saw in the second half when they needed to run the ball and slow the clock down, they were able to get some big plays. And to me, that's the biggest difference because you've got 2 first-round wide receivers, Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle on the outside. They can throw the ball around. And Mac Jones is very underrated at the quarterback position. But to me, the offensive line was the big key tonight. It became about winning tonight, but that wasn't the key coming in. They really wanted to get some confidence going and really be ready for that front seven of Georgia, which has been outstanding so far this season.
Yeah, that'll be a blast to watch. And that's where I want to go with this next question. Our buddy Spencer Hall says, Be fun. Ole Miss is fun. That's a fun team to watch play. They really stressed that Alabama defense. They hung a big number as well. Being fun's one thing. How close, Todd, is Mississippi to being good?
They're not there. They're probably a year or two away, and it's going to be JUCO guys on the defensive side next year. And then probably 2 years from now, you'll see Lane Kiffin and his recruiting machine start to, bring in young players that are going to develop. But I was so impressed. Matt Corral, the way he played tonight, how sudden he is, the decision-making that he had, the ability to extend plays. He gave them fits. How many times do we see Alabama give up over 600 yards of total offense? I thought he was awesome tonight. Unfortunately, winds up on the losing end for him, but you can't play any better than he did against this Alabama D.
No, they're more than a 3-touchdown dog, and it was a fourth-quarter game where you got an onside kick and a chance. You'd have taken that in the Grove early this afternoon.
Just being honest with you. Coming into the game, I thought it was going to be a blowout. I really did, because the trenches for Ole Miss, the offensive line couldn't block, the defensive front, and really the whole defense couldn't defend the run. And I thought Sarkisian and those guys were going to come in, run the football. Najee was going to go for 300, and I thought they were going to do it from the start. And that really wasn't the case. And you got to give Lane Kiffin a lot of credit, and the fact that he called probably the best game of his entire career. That, to me, was a big difference. And then Corral, the way he played.
Bama's not going to get 63 next week, but they're probably not going to give up 48 either. Should be a different game, Todd. Great to talk.